I've tried in our conversations
Sure.
that this is a reason for caution on the part of American firms about.
I haven't been streaming for the last hour or so. I thought I was.
About our national security concerns and how the actions we take will lead to resolving those concerns.
The Biden administration is trying to boost manufacturing of EVs, solar panels, and microchips here within the United States. Congress is back in Washington, D.C. this week after a 2-week recess. Lawmakers have outstanding issues to address, and that includes a foreign aid package, impeachment,
you missed quite a bit.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and the threat that House Speaker Mike Johnson is facing from members of his own party working to remove him from his speakership. Congressional correspondent Nathaniel Reed is in Washington, ready to track it all. So, Nate, busy week. Let's start with the Senate back today. What does its next week look like?
It's 36-64. So I guess you all missed a lot that I did. I got on the hovercraft and I chased after Lee, and I got all the way to the aircraft carrier, and then I got through the aircraft carrier and went through a cave, and I'm on the other side of the cave now, and I'm stuck with an empty rocket launcher that I can't seem to get rid of, and so I figured like I saved where I'm at, I stopped the game, and restarted. Maybe that'll let me, get rid of the empty rocket launcher. But it was like about 15-20 minutes of gameplay there that it's totally gone. So, let's see what happens. Anyway, the eclipse is pretty much gone. It's over.
About the House here, Nate, because the House returns tomorrow.
And Donald Trump's been
Speaker Mike Johnson's relationship with House Republicans.
Hovering around the $36 range there. In between like a low of $36.25 and like a high of $36.64. Right now he's at $36.59. So it'll probably close around $36.50. Well, no, it closed already. $36.50. Yeah, it closed. It's closed. $36.59. Oh well, he lost 9% this year today. Yesterday he lost 12, and before that he lost like 23. So he's in the 36s. 36s, yeah. So let's see where he's going. So tomorrow he's probably going to open up at 36.59, and we'll see where he goes from there. Long one.
On whether he decides to put additional aid for Ukraine up for both the House.
All right, busy week ahead. Nathaniel Reed for us covering it all in Washington. Dave, thank you. Tension in Latin America with Mexico diplomatic relations with Ecuador.
Let's go back to the gameplay here. And
look at this video. This is video of Ecuadorian police.
Let's see, Frozen Paradise. Yeah, let me see.
Embassy in the Ecuadorian capital of Quito. They arrested the former vice president of Ecuador who was seeking asylum.
Yeah, from here. I finally was able to kill the big thing, or we were actually able to kill it.
Mexico says the raid was a violation.
Yeah, we killed it.
And it plans to challenge
And then
at the World
we started going. We broke in through a cave and stuff. Went through here. Got this the aircraft carrier here. I'm working my way through the aircraft carrier. And then I finally got to the other side of the aircraft carrier. And here I go start the entrance to a cave. And no, right here is the entrance to the cave. And now I'm on the other side of the cave, and we're gonna go from there.
Years ago today, we'll take you through his story, career. An important piece of advice from some furry friends for today's solar eclipse. We'll be right back.
Cool, I finally got rid of that. No? Still carrying the rocket launcher?
Our goal is to take
I still got the fucking empty rocket launcher. What the fuck, man? I guess I'm gonna stick with an empty rocket launcher for the rest of the game, huh?
Make your free TV even better with Tableau.
Switching to Tableau has really been a mindset.
I'm gonna be stuck with an empty rocket launcher for the rest of the game.
I can pause it, I can go get a drink, I can come back, I can continue with the family.
I need some ammo for the gun.
TablowTV.com.
Rebag, a luxury resale marketplace curated with an eye for detail. Where
Okay, so I got the
every
gun.
piece is carefully vetted by our specialists.
Single wheel gun, that,
Get 10%
and an empty
off
rocket
your
launcher.
purchase with Rebag TV.
It's everything. It's
Alright.
family. It's community. And just knowing where everything is. More than 1 million homeowners
That machine
have
gun.
already used the reverse mortgage to stay in the comfort and security of their family home for as long as they want. And the best part? There's no monthly
That way, huh?
payments, and it's tax-free. Call now to find out what you can get and the
I guess
many
I gotta go that way.
ways you can use your reverse mortgage money if you're over 60 and own your home. Call now to speak with a licensed reverse mortgage agent and find out if you qualify now. Call 1-800-431-1181. That's 1-800-431-1181. And for most older homeowners, their home's equity is their single biggest asset. Why not turn that investment you've been sitting on for years into tax-free cash right now so you can pay off your existing mortgage, pay bills, credit cards, and medical care, even renovate or update the house. Maybe get that something special. If you're over 60 and own your home, live in the home as long as you want. Get the information you need to qualify and get the tax-free cash you deserve. Call 1-800-431-1181. A reverse mortgage
I
is
think what it
just
says is that every once in a while, for some reason,
created just for
when I
times
press
like
shift
these.
instead of running or
Americans have a way to
sprinting,
cover rising costs and
it
keep
loses
their
focus in the game.
just the way it is.
Uh-oh.
Pay off as much as you like. One lump sum when you leave the home. It's that simple. Unlock your home's equity using a reverse mortgage to get the cash you need and stay in the home you love. 1-800-431-1181. That's 1-800-431-1181. Getting tax-free cash has never been easier. Don't miss out. Find out how much tax-free cash you may qualify for. Call 1-800-431-1181. That's 1-800-431-1181.
So that's how this will be done. They use fiber. Look how quickly they find freelancers. All simple.
Yeah, why are they working in the dark? Yo! Grow your business easily with freelance.
After Jonathan Majors won't serve jail time for assaulting his ex-girlfriend, the judge ordered him to complete a year-long batterers intervention program in Los Angeles. He has to continue the mental health counseling his lawyers say that he's been participating in. Majors is also barred from contacting his ex-girlfriend, the once promising actor, convicted of misdemeanor assault in December. He did face up to a year behind bars. His lawyers say Majors maintains his innocence and plans to appeal. All right, let's talk about it. The Great North American Eclipse. It just happened. Hopefully you got a big look at it, no matter where you live. Millions across the country witnessed this celestial phenomenon this afternoon. The total solar eclipse first reached North America over Mexico shortly after noon Pacific time. People there along the country's Pacific coast saw the moon completely blanket the sun. We had live coverage of this here on Scripps News. It passed into the U.S. over Texas shortly after 1:30 Central Time. Now, approximately 44
I
billion
guess it
people
doesn't affect those.
live within the path of totality across 13 states. So many people travel to those cities in the path to get a look for themselves. So hopefully you protected your here's a reminder that we have to share with you as well. These Corgi siblings, Midge and Susie, wanted to make sure everyone was safe. Their owner says that Susie wanted to remind people not to look directly at the sun. That's a great reminder. Hopefully you followed it today. The two also made sure that people knew how to practice proper eye safety. Those are things to remember. The next total solar eclipse. Mark your calendars for 2045. We have so much great coverage of today's event on our website. You can go to scriptnews.com. You can click on the solar eclipse section. You'll find an eclipse tracker and all of the content breaking down everything solar eclipse. Well, it has been 50 years since Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's home run record, and on this day in 1974, Aaron hit his 715th home. National correspondent Thomas Hopmo looks back at the moment with a sports history expert and fan who's at the game.
It was a swing that broke a baseball record, making history on the field.
A friend of mine asked me a couple of weeks ago, do you realize how long it's been in
bullets?
I'm just waiting for him in the restaurant. I said, 25 minutes? He said, you know, it's been 50 years.
On April 8, 1974 in Atlanta, Henry Aaron broke the Major League home run record that had stood for nearly 40 years. Charlie Russo was one of 53,000 fans in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium that night, capturing hammering Hank's 715th homer with his home movie camera.
Oh my goodness, I started filming, and the first one was a ball, and then the second one, oh my Lord, he hit it out. And now I'm thinking, oh goodness, I got all this on my camera.
Aaron was relieved, saying
You wanna
the
know that
average
stupid
person
ass
can't
fucking-
realize what a nightmare this has been. As he got closer to Babe Ruth's record, he received nearly 1 million pieces of mail. Not a third of it racist
Fucking
or
empty
threatening.
ass. Rocket.
All of America was happy a black ball player would replace the iconic, almost mythical legend of the white Babe Ruth.
Author Michael McCambridge writes in The Big Time, his recent book about sports in the 70s, the chase for the
Why can't I make shit with the fucking dog?
lines of America's long reckoning with race.
We got something like 930,000 letters in 1973. Most of them were very positive and encouraging, but a dark minority of those were very negative and very hateful with the worst and most profane language. And that shined a little bit of a mirror for American sports fans on what some of their cohort would like. And so I think because Aaron was black and because Ruth was white, it sort of gave Americans some inkling of what African-American athletes and people in general have been dealing with for generations.
He would later say in the threatening letters, quote, carved a piece of my heart away.
Well, I think 50 years on, we can see more clearly what Henry Aaron was up against, what he soldiered through, and what he accomplished in the face of a different time, at a time when there was a clear double standard for black athletes, and what he endured to break that record.
After he retired in 1976, President George W. Bush would award him the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
By steadily pursuing his calling in the face
Psycho,
of unreasonable
monitor those
hatred,
machines for me.
Hank Aaron has proven himself a great human being, as well as a great athlete.
When Aaron died in 2021, Bush described him as a joyful man, adding, Hank never let the hatred...
That must be lifting 100 tons or more.
Thomas Hoppo, Scripps News.
Undefeated South Carolina has won its third national championship. South Carolina's women's basketball team not only won the national title yesterday, it's the 10th Division I team to go undefeated in an entire season. They went 38-0. The Gamecocks finishing the season with a win over Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes, 87-75. This is the third title in the last 8 years for South Carolina and Coach Don Staley. Iowa's Caitlin Clark does now plan to enter the WNBA draft, which is next week. She is expected to be the #1 pick, the Indiana Fever. Now for the men, it all comes down to tonight. On one side, you have the Purdue Boilermakers. They have never won a national title. And on the other, the University of Connecticut looking to go back-to-back. And if the Huskies win tonight, they will be the 8th program all-time to go 2 in a row. Florida was the last team to do it. That was in 2006 and 2007. This is Purdue's first national title appearance since 1969. That game tips at 9:20 Eastern. Matchup so many people predicted when they were filling out their brackets. Only the 8th time since '94, 2 #1 seeds are playing for a title. Thanks for joining us.
I'm
Chris
stuck
Stewart.
with
Next on Made in
stupid
Love,
ass
Bianca
fucking-
Sheedy and I will be breaking down President Biden's new student loan plan. Stay with us.
Stay tuned to learn more about this limited time offer from Renewal by Anderson.
Have you been looking at replacing your home's windows or doors? If so, I'm sure price is a huge factor. At Renewal by Anderson, we're really proud of our fair pricing policy.
We're a typical middle-class family. We have a budget. We need to be aware of where our money's going. And the great thing about Renewal by Anderson was they actually had several financing options that were going to make sense for our situation.
So, let's talk windows. Our 5X window material is like the gold standard in the industry. It's a composite material that lasts longer, performs better, and is actually 2 times stronger than vinyl. Okay, so you're carrying this out to your back deck, but you gotta stop and try to shove open that patio door. That can be real frustrating. The dual ball bearing adjusters on our patio doors help the doors to glide easily. And we know by Anderson, we've been doing this a long time. And we know that you don't want some hard sell sales pitch. We will visit your home, see exactly what you have, and then give you an exact price quote. And we'll honor that price for a whole year so that there's no pressure. Let us give you a price on the windows and doors that you will love.
We have the intention of looking at different companies, doing some due diligence, and we started with Renewal by Anderson, and it was such a compelling conversation and process that we ended up not even looking any further.
Before April 30th, buy one window, patio door, or entry door, and get the next one 40% off. That's 40% off, with a minimum of 4 units.
Dane, I'm in.
Psycho, we're nearly at the mine entrance. Clear out the compound if you can, but your priority is to meet us there ASAP.
Copy that.
For 1 year. This offer ends
What I gotta
April
do?
30th. For a free appointment with Renewal
Eagle
by
team are at the mountain entrance, meet them there.
662-02-02.
Clear the compound. Help Eagle team are clearing the compound of hostiles.
Helping families with mesothelioma
And it's fucking full of hostiles, and I'm stuck with an empty fucking
mesothelioma
rocket
for
launcher.
over 10 years. Since that time, thousands with mesothelioma have trusted
I'm
us
stuck with
to
an empty
represent them against those responsible. We have local offices throughout the U.S.
rocket launcher.
Really is all we do, and there is no risk to you. Let us put a plan in place for you and your family. Call now.
Call us at 800-642-9300 or go to WesselBook.com.
Psycho, what's your status? Do you need support? We're waiting for you at the mine entrance.
No, mate. I'll be there soon, okay?
What's his plan this time, and can it withstand potential legal challenge?
What was initially a staff search for former President Trump's social media company has quickly gone into the red. Unless authorities impacting
with a
his network,
fucking empty
just
rocket
2 weeks
launcher.
after it hit the NASDAQ.
And the site from the staff.
Psycho, we gotta hold these bastards off while Cupcake primes the C4. How's it coming, Cupcake?
In another 4 or 5 minutes.
These temperatures are playing hell with our explosives. Hold on, gotta reload! Okay, targets are inbound. Psycho, protect our perimeter. Take the C4 from the cache. Get him!
Good afternoon and welcome to Maiden Wall. I'm Chris Stewart in Atlanta.
And I'm Bianca Pacini in Washington in for Chris Flynn. Thanks for joining us. Here are some of today's top stories about the economy and its impact on you. Coming off what was a brutal week for the stock market, especially the Dow, it's now back to relatively quiet on Wall Street. The Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ didn't move much. Investors are closely watching and reacting to inflation news in anticipation of any potential interest rate cuts by the Federal Reserve.
What? Can I get rid of the rocket launcher?
He said the Biden administration will push
Holy shit, here they come! Hey, Psycho! I thought you dealt...
Yellen is in China for a high-stakes 5-day trip, talking with Chinese officials about industrial policy, among other topics. The U.S. and Europe say that China has...
I gotta figure out how to get rid of this rocket
specifically
launcher.
noting electric vehicles and batteries.
How to
She
get
says the
rid of the
market
rocket launcher.
is flooded with, quote, artificially cheap Chinese products, and that, in turn, can hurt American business.
Along those same lines, the White House says it's giving as much as $6.6 billion for a major semiconductor company to expand its facilities it's already building in Arizona. As part of an effort to make sure microchips are manufactured in the U.S., even though the company is Taiwanese. The Biden administration wants the company to not just build on its existing plans for 2 facilities in Phoenix, but add a third one. The funding comes from the CHIPS Act that President Biden signed into law in 2022.
All right, Bianca, let's take a look at our price check today as we spotlight a few of the things that you may want to spend money on. So if you travel to Kerrville, Texas for today's total solar eclipse, a room at the Hampton Inn there will cost you $257 tonight. Next Monday, That same room just costs $110. Space
Well, that was a waste of time.
Today is also National Empanada Day. Maybe you snacked on one of those while taking in the sights in the sky. 10-pack of Goya empanadas at Walmart. That costs just under $4. Also would be a pretty good snack during the men's NCAA championship game tonight. If you are
That's San Pedro Sula.
maybe a last-minute move
From the air.
Check it out in Phoenix.
San Pedro Sula is in Honduras. Honduras.
On StubHub. We checked that earlier today.
I took that picture back in 2005. No, 2004. Yeah.
I'll never stop to deliver student debt relief for hardworking Americans, and it's only in the interest of America we do it. And again, it's for the good of our economy. It's growing stronger and stronger, and it is. By freeing millions of Americans from this crushing debt of student debt, it means they can
So I'm stuck with an empty rocket launcher for the rest of the game.
Their life being put on hold.
That's
This afternoon, President Biden announced a new plan for student debt relief. He traveled to Madison, Wisconsin to lay out the plan.
The White House says if it's implemented, it means debt relief for more than 30 million Americans when combined with other actions from the administration. He said the biggest benefit is for borrowers who now own more than they originally borrowed because of unpaid interest. The White House says the plan will cancel up to $20,000 of debt for these borrowers.
Okay, targets are inbound.
White House
Psycho, protect our perimeter. Take the C4 from the cache.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this proposal? Who else would benefit? What type of borrowers would benefit from this plan? This is a really significant update in the president's plan for student debt relief. It would impact borrowers with what the administration calls runaway interest. These are borrowers who owe more than they originally borrowed, and that's expected in some to forgive interest balances for up to 25 million borrowers. It would impact borrowers already eligible under the SAVE Plan, Public Service Business Plan, and other avenues who haven't already applied. It would cancel debt for people who started repaying at least 20 years ago.
That sucks.
Low value programs and borrowers experiencing hardship, things like
Holy shit, here they come! Hey, Psycho! I thought you dealt with these bastards! There's a metric shit ton of them!
The disproportionate debt burden
I like to take out these little bastards from range with my underbarrel grenades.
Alternative paths for relief after the Supreme Court struck down his original plan
Hernandez,
for
pin
debt
those damn
forgiveness.
things down with your gals before they get too close!
In his home state of Wisconsin today, as Secretary of State and Vice President Harris also hit the road in Pennsylvania and New York. Of course, young Wisconsin is the key battleground states for Biden on the 2024 campaign trail. He made the case there that debt is not only something that weighs on the borrower, but
These
also
temperatures are playing
the
hell with our
economy.
explosives.
Already Republicans slanting this, though, saying that he
Okay,
is
targets are
buying votes and voting
inbound. Psycho,
as
protect our
taxpayers.
perimeter. Take the C4 from the cache.
Throughout the public comment before it's implemented, which they're hoping some tenants of that could be as early as
Take the
early
C4
fall,
from the cache.
which of course times up with election. Right, and you also mentioned that Supreme Court ruling that initially struck down President Biden's first big student loan proposal. But we've seen that he continues to put out other student loan relief plans. So does this particular one that's announced today face any major challenges? Well, it remains to be seen what specific challenges it could face, but we know the administration is confident in their standing here, even recognizing some of the criticism. People say they have studied that Supreme Court case carefully, and they believe that this is different because it is pursued under the higher education.
So what am I supposed to do?
Holy shit, here they come!
And that it has specificity.
Hey, Psycho! I thought you dealt with these bastards! There's a metric shit ton of them!
We know.
I like to take out these little bastards from range with my underbarrel grenades.
The administration's efforts to try to prevent millions of middle-class Americans.
Hernandez, pin those damn things down with your gals before they get too close!
So we will see how this process plays out going forward, but again, they are confident and hoping to implement some tenets of this in early fall. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out ahead of the election. White House correspondent Haley Bull, thank you so much. Yep.
All right, let's bring in Betsy.
I don't have a
Now
Gauss, but-
she joins the conversation. The president and
There you
founder
go.
of the Institute of Student Loan Advisors, a nonprofit that works with those who are impacted by student loan debt. Betsy, thank you for taking the time to be with me. So, if this plan becomes a reality, what will this mean for borrowers?
You know, I think this plan addresses one of the biggest complaints I hear from a lot of federal student loan holders, which is, listen, I know I got money, I know I need to repay it, but the interest is growing. So this addresses that issue of people making inquiry marks only to see their balance go up.
Okay, targets are inbound. Psycho, protect our perimeter. Take the C4 from the
who've been
cache.
repaying it for 12 years or more still owe more than what they originally borrowed.
How does this plan differ from the original plan that the president put out that was shut down by the Supreme Court?
Well, the one thing, what it falls under, as was mentioned in the prior segment, this time they're writing these rules under existing federal law, which makes the rules stronger as far as any potential court challenges go. The other piece of it is it's a little more nuanced. They're specifically addressing, instead of all student loan borrowers, it's specifically addressing the most vulnerable borrowers or the ones that are most economically disadvantaged by their student loan debt.
And you work with people who have been impacted by student loan debt. When you look at what President Biden's done since he's made promises about taking on this issue, how would you say these two?
Bastards! There's a metric shit ton of
Oh boy, listen, I have been working with student loan borrowers and with student loan compliance partners for over 25 years. I tell people it was like their school. And I can honestly say that this administration has done more for
pin those damn things down with your gals before they get too close.
Those that were defrauded by their schools, those that are disabled, those that have been paying on their loans for decades, those that are pursuing public service loan forgiveness and other forgiveness programs. He's absolutely done more during his administration than any other administration in my career.
You do hear those who will criticize the efforts to eliminate student loan debt, the path that the president's taking, and will say that it puts a burden on taxpayers. Would you agree with that?
Well, it is true that this is taxpayer money, but with the outcome of ameliorating the student debt, arguably will help the economy and therefore help those same taxpayers.
And then what's an issue with student debt?
With an empty rocket launcher.
Where's the next step that needs to take?
It's not that he hasn't taken it. It's that it hasn't made as much progress as some of these other policies have. And the bottom line is this. All these student loan forgiveness proposals are great and they're needed, but they don't solve the problem. The problem is the cost of higher education. So we forgive student loans tomorrow, they start accruing again the next day. We need to do something as a society to address the cost of higher education so these loans don't accrue in the first place.
All right, Betsy Mayer of the Institute of Student Loan Advisors. Betsy, thank you for taking your time to share your perspective on this. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Bianca?
Former President Trump's net worth dropped by $2 billion as the Trump Media and Technology Group went public 2 weeks ago. The company owns the social media platform Truth Social, and Trump owns more than 78 million shares of company stock. Trump Media stock rose in value when initially offered on the NASDAQ March 27th, and it's lost about a third of its value since then. Experts warned the stock was overvalued when it went public. Trump Media and Technology Group closed the day trading at around $37 a share. That's a more than 8% decrease today alone. It's its eighth drop to begin the morning and struggled with an uphill battle the rest of the day. Still ahead on Main and Raw. Joe D. the Money.
Who's got the scope? Snipe the little fuck shielding the others!
Today, how the generation factors into the labor market and the things they prioritize about the workforce.
And stories everybody's talking about, but just how valuable is an eclipse. We'll take a look at the economic impact of today and which states are getting the biggest boost. That's when Main and Raw returns.
This week on Crysis Investigates.
Still workers under attack. We wanted your team.
Crysis Investigates. Starting at 9:30
We got contact!
I used to think my doctor could see. Then I switched. It's a typical doctor's office. It's never bringing around for me to get free.
got something. Oh, yeah! Grenade! Cover me! Heads up! Bring it on!
At Upstream Health, we specialize in caring for older adults like you, with a focus on keeping you healthy. So don't wait. Call today.
Hey, Johnson, use speed mode before those beams fry your ass. We got contact. Hurry up! Hernandez, your gills. Those orange fuckers, use it. Got one! Bring it! Over there! Need to reload! Move out!
Ready to go?
We need to know you better with our including
Heads up!
and next day appointments.
Cover me!
Oh,
Son of a bitch! We got ourselves another giant walker. You got to be shitting me! Cupcake, how's it coming? Nearly there!
They all work together. For me, myself, and God.
Hold on!
Reaching the 24/7 support line.
Let's check it out! Hands up! C4 is prime! Move
Back
quick!
with an empty fucking rocket launcher.
What's that miss? She won't blow! Got it. I'm out! Cover me!
So switching to that side.
Well, that did the trick. That's not gonna hold for 5 seconds. Then you better move your ass double time. Okay, entrance is clear. You take point, Psycho. We got tail end. Go!
Schedule a visit. See why we are the only primary care provider where we do your name. Upstream Health.
So we pride ourselves on giving you fast, reliable nationwide coverage at up to half the cost of the leading carriers. But don't worry, we've got more than that going for us. Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example.
Leave this shit.
It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You need it? We probably got it. And we have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want,
How do I get rid
if you want
of
lots of bells and
the
whistles
empty
to
rocket
upgrade the
launcher?
bank, we've got that too.
You don't. You're stuck with it for the rest of the game.
We even have watches. I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores that I tell you? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Is it easy?
Here it is.
And for a limited time, you
The
can
empty rocket launcher.
call 888-932-4289.
Dane, mate, can you read me?
Find us in Target or visit
Dane, do you copy?
consumercellular.com to switch today.
Damn it.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
Psycho, this is Emerson. I've got a lock on your position. The abandoned Pacific Shore is mine. I suggest you head on through while I scan the archives for a schematic.
And what's Eagle's status?
Alive but under heavy assault. There's nothing you can do for them. I'll provide them with whatever support I can.
Cities in the path of totality, of hotels and businesses within them, the eclipse is estimated to bring a financial boost of as much as $6 billion to the U.S. economy, which is our big number today. Now, that figure comes from the Perryman Group, and it takes into account all spending related to the eclipse, which is a huge bump for many states' economies. Texas is projected to see the biggest gains, with total spending there hitting $1.4 billion. Millions were in the path of totality in Texas, but even smaller states, places like New Hampshire, were predicted to gain more than $2 million from eclipse-related spending beyond.
Ray Perryman joins us now. He's the president and CEO of the Perryman Group. So, Ray, can you first tell us how you estimated that $6 billion figure?
And now I'm stuck in here?
So the first thing we did was we got the estimates that were out there, the official estimates of the number of visitors that would likely come into each state. And from that, we could look and see what typical spending is, and then adjust for the fact that hotel rates were higher and things of that nature that can impact that. And then we have models that can model literally for any area of the country, each county in the country for that matter, what the economic effect of that type of spending would be as it flows through the economy. And so that was the basic process.
And I know you mentioned hotels there. I know that's been a big part of this conversation. So can you talk to me a little bit more about which categories, or maybe which one category will account for the most spending related to the eclipse?
Well, sure. I mean, the ones you would expect, actually, the restaurant industry does quite well. Overall retail sales, the hotels and short-term rentals. So a lot of housing rentals and that sort of thing took place. But the hospitality side, the transportation side, the things you normally see with tourism also come into play here.
And with last eclipse visible in the U.S. was back in 2017, this one feels like it's generating a bit more buzz and certainly more spending. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think there's several reasons. I think first of
Ah, and I can't move.
You cut through such a broad swath of the country and such a highly populous swath of the country. There's 30 million people who live with hazard totality. Well over 100 million were within 150 miles or so of the path totality. So you had a lot
Dane,
of
mate, can you read me?
There were also some
Dane, do you copy?
Publicity about
Damn
saying
it.
the moon was much closer this time, which gave you both a wider path and a
Psycho,
longer
this is
time
Emerson.
period.
I've got a lock on your position. The abandoned Pacific Shore is mine. I suggest you head on through while I scan the archives for a schematic.
And what's Eagle's status?
Alive but under heavy assault. There's nothing you can do for them. I'll provide them with whatever support I can.
And then probably a little bit indirectly, the fact that people are now out traveling again. This happened to come around the time of spring break, where a lot of people are traveling anyway. So I think there were a lot of factors that contributed to that.
Yeah, those are some good points. And you also predict that today's eclipse will top revenue brought in even from Taylor Swift's entire U.S. tour or the Super Bowl. Is there any other event that's brought in this sort of economic boost and interest that you can think of aside from Taylor Swift's recent tour or the Super Bowl?
Well, not really. I mean, the way you have to think about this is what makes it so unusual is, in a very short and concentrated period of time, it's as if multiple cities all across the country had a Super Bowl or a major sports event or a major concert.
I've got an update from Intel on that cast you've been chasing. Best assessment is that the unidentified hostile you saw in the sub was the same thing that Nomad encountered inside their habitat. They believe that these creatures pilot various forms of weaponized exosuit.
And do you think that cities can use today's eclipse to help boost their economies long term, or is this just sort of a one-off scenario where they're able to make some money now but won't be able to make money down the road from it?
Well, a lot of cities went to a lot of trouble to have special events to publicize the fact that they were in the path, bring people in. I think in particular, a lot of your smaller cities that don't normally get a large group of tourists, you have towns of 5,000 that are suddenly having 50,000 people come in. Those types of cities really have an opportunity to showcase themselves in a different way, make people aware of other things around there, and I think a lot of people took advantage of those opportunities. So I do think there's some long-term potential synergy with this. In terms of, again, like a Super Bowl gives one town a chance to show itself off, this gave multiple towns across the country a chance to do something similar.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see the impact in particular on those local, smaller economies versus the big cities, definitely. Right, Perryman, with the Perryman Group, thanks so much for joining us today.
You bet, my pleasure.
Lawmakers are taking steps to pass a bill third parties from accessing your private information. We'll get into details next. Stay with us on Main Law.
This week on Scripps News Investigates.
It was the world's first nuclear test. Nearly 80 years
Different way to get here.
A scientist on the hunt in New Mexico for evidence of toxic fallout.
Community will be
critical.
Coastal workers under attack. He didn't ask for money. He wanted your team.
Scripps News Investigates Friday night at 9:30, 8:30 Central, only on Scripps News. An important message for Americans aged 50 to 85.
Oh my gosh, you're still using Mom's old coffee pot. It's my inheritance. Well, it is a family heirloom.
You know what? The kids can just sell it to pay for my payroll. It's a good thing you have life insurance. Life insurance with our family history.
Don't you know about Colonial Penn? It's guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance with no medical questions asked.
I'm on a fixed income. Who isn't? You have it? We all do.
Okay, back in another place where you can get out of here.
Colonial Penn.
That's right.
How do I get out of here? Okay, this is where I came in.
As you get older, your health may change. Colonial Penn understands that. And we don't think it should keep you from getting life insurance to help protect your family. That's why we guarantee acceptance to everyone aged 50 to 85. No health questions, no medical exam. Applying is easy. And you have your choice of options starting at $9.95 a month, a few dollars a week, 35 cents a day. And your price will never go up. A lifetime rate lock guarantees it. This protection can last a lifetime, too. Some insurance policies end unless you reach a certain age. Not this one. Pay your bill. It's yours to keep for as long as you like.
How did you call for information, got an application, filled it out, sent it back? It took a few minutes. And look at this. They sent me this free beneficiary planner just for calling. I filled in all my important information and final license. Now my kids will have everything they need in one place.
Ready to learn more? Call for free information and your free gift. There's no obligation. Every policy we issue comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. Why wait? Call now. Call 1-800-499-6683 for your free information and your free gift. That's 1-800-499-6683. There's no obligation. 1-800-499-6683.
How do I get out of here?
Introducing the world's smartest thing. Halo Color is a virtual thing inside a color. Easily create halo fences right in the app, virtually anywhere. Teach them to keep away from danger and come back to safety. Give your dog the freedom of a life off leash. So we can roam wherever you go. It's a whole new world for you and your dog.
Halo Color 3, now $5.99.
Tesla's autopilot feature is the focus of a wrongful death trial that began in California today. Defendant Apple engineer Walter Wong filed the suit after he died in a 2018 crash while his car's autopilot was engaged. The survivors say the technology is not as safe as Tesla claims, and the company knew there were flaws. Tesla lawyers will counter that the technology works when used correctly. Federal safety experts determined the technology can give a false sense of security. Tesla recalled 2 million vehicles after the report and issued new warnings about how its autopilot feature should be used. And Elon Musk owns Tesla, and his actions as ex-CEO has met odds with Brazil's Supreme Court. Musk defied a court ruling and reactivated X accounts before blocked. In response, a Brazilian Supreme Court judge launched an inquiry into Musk. The judge called Musk's decision, quote, flagrant conduct of obstruction of Brazilian justice. Musk has called the court's decision aggressive censorship. And U.S. lawmakers introduced a plan to offer all Americans a right to online privacy.
So Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell and Republican Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers want to create a national law. Their idea, the American Privacy Rights Act, regulates how companies gather, share, and use Americans' online data. It also requires a person's permission before sensitive data is transferred to third parties and allows people to opt out of targeted ads. Now, we first told you about speed dating's comeback earlier this year, as more Americans are actually ditching swiping on their online dating apps and instead going back in person here.
Now, event company Eventbrite is giving us more insight on that trend. It says speed dating surged in popularity over the last 3 years, and the company saw a 63% surge in speed dating events from 2021 to 2022, with a 43% increase in attendance. Dating experts say it's a great option for those who want to make a better impression in person than online. Millennials and Gen Z in particular have shown more of an interest.
I have the mine schematic. Follow my instructions and you'll soon be back on course. First I'll get you through the mine, then you'll have to make your way through its freight terminal.
In person versus having to use apps all the time. Not that those are bad. I actually know plenty of people in my life that met through apps and are now married, but it's also, nice to have an option where you can meet in person for the first time versus on your phone. I think that makes a difference.
Absolutely, yeah. And everything else in life is on screens, right? You think of the Zoom meetings you're in every single day. It's not for people to go out, actually meet in person. And it's speed dating too, so you don't have to commit to something that's like too long, like one of those really painful dinners. We've all been there.
That's true. You can get out of it if you need to.
All right, Bianca, thank you. Thank you for joining us. For the audience leaving us right now, your local programming is up next. You can always check us out on scriptnews.com or any of these platforms that you're seeing with us. There's much more headed your way right here on Main and Mill.
I sense trouble. Check it out. Come
At Hers, we can help you handle hair loss, get care for your mental health, floss without burning out, and feel your best with simple-to-access personalized care. We're here shedding and thinning, anxiety, burnout, depression, and more. Get started at Warhead.com.
If you're over the age of 50 and looking to buy life insurance, this message is for you. I'm Kirk Kaiser, and here to tell you about the all-new 50-plus plan. If you're over the age of 50, it's not too late to get a life insurance policy, even if you have a medical condition or on a fixed income. If you're over 50 and looking for affordable life insurance, just call 800-862-9895. The 50-plus plan is a life insurance plan for less. Protect the ones you love today for just pennies a day. Plans can also help to cover...
You're making good progress, Psycho. And I've got even better news. Eagle Team secured their position and are en route to QRF at the Sphere's perimeter.
You are guaranteed. There's just one simple question in order to qualify. Are you over the age of 50? If you answered yes, don't wait another minute and call now to get the 50-plus plan.
Just call 800-862-9895. The call is free and there is no obligation to enroll.
There are so many pluses with the 50-plus plan. There's no paperwork, no health questions, and no medical exam. Even if you have a pre-existing condition. This plan also comes with a double guarantee. Guaranteed acceptance and a guaranteed rate. That's right. Your acceptance is guaranteed, and your rate can never go up for any reason. Another plus, your coverage starts immediately. It's a no-brainer. Call now for the 50-plus plan and give your loved ones the protection they need for just pennies a day.
The call is free and there is no obligation to enroll. Just call 800-862-9895. That's 800-862-9895.
It's all about putting in the work. I'll prepare the same way for the long haul. I'll give you all those stats to be able to say, okay, let's do this now. It's all about just training your mind to be as great as you can. So, be your strongest.
Welcome to Man and Wall. I'm Bianca Bashini in Washington and for Chris Wynn.
And I'm Chris Stewart, live in Atlanta. The Federal Reserve and the stock market will look closely at some important new economic reports this week.
That's right. Let's check out what's on the menu. Wednesday is the report you hear us talk about a lot, the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. It's an important inflation gauge for the Federal Reserve and plays a role in its decision on interest rates. The index tells us what prices are like for consumer goods and services. The CPI ticked up in February, and remember, the Fed wants to see continued signs inflation is cooling to its 2% target.
And not to be mistaken with CPI, on Thursday we'll get the PPI, which is the Producer Price Index. That's a measurement of wholesale inflation passed on to us, the consumer. This index also increased in February. The next report, which will be for the month of What was that?
It was me.
Friday, we'll get a sense of how consumers are feeling about the economy. The University of Michigan will release its preliminary consumer sentiment report for this month. It will release its revised final report at the end of the month. Consumer sentiment is a measure for the Fed. Consumer spending makes up for roughly 70% of the U.S. economy. So, all pretty important data reports coming out this week, particularly which means again at the end of the month. We won't have a decision until May 1st, but Most experts, it seems, are still banking on another interest rate pause the next go around, but we'll see. This week's data continues.
Very much so. And all these reports are very difficult to follow. It always seems like there's new one, all these different numbers, but these are the important little reports that come out that you have to follow to eventually get to that question of why are mortgages so expensive? Why is it so expensive?
Fire!
It all builds up to that.
Hostile!
Yes, and that's really important for consumers to watch for.
Open fire!
And millions of Americans had their eyes to the sky today to witness a rare total solar eclipse pass North America.
Yeah, even here in Atlanta, not in the path of totality, still pretty cool. The sky shifting from day to dusk as the moon covered the sun in what's really being described as a must-see event. The images speak for themselves. It is expected to bring in as much as $6 billion to the U.S. economy. More than a dozen states and an estimated 44 million people are within the path of totality where the moon totally blocked the sun. Nearly everyone in the U.S. were able to get a glimpse of at least a partial eclipse. Today marks the last total solar eclipse visible from the U.S. for another 20 years.
Michael Schwartz with Scripps News Buffalo is live in Niagara Falls, New York for us, which was in the path of totality. So, Michael, can you tell us what it was like to see the moon cover the sun?
You can't play it with a new computer.
Here's the point. Well, there was darkness, and
You
the
just
temperature
cannot play it
got
with
pretty low. That was also phenomenal. But we didn't see the moon covering the sun. We saw the cloud coverage. We were in the direct path, as you just mentioned. But the clouds played a major role here. We put our eclipse glasses on. Excuse me. We looked up to the sun, but couldn't see anything. However, there was a phenomenon that we did see. That's called the diamond ring effect. That's when the moon is moving out of the path of the sun. You just see a little bit of a halo and then a burst of sunlight, literally looking like a diamond ring. That's what we saw here for a split second. So we got a little bit of a show. 20 minutes south in downtown Buffalo, they actually did see the total solar eclipse. Thousands came out here to Niagara Falls on the New York side. On the Canadian side, I kept turning around as I was on camera. As totality was happening, there were some bursts of cheers here and there. Just that any visible shape of the sun that could be seen. But we didn't get to see the full total solar eclipse that we would have seen if the skies were clear. There was an opening over Cleveland that gave us some hope, but just not
Our boys.
There is now the opening now where now you could use the total solar eclipse glasses and see this, but it was still an amazing phenomenon of how quickly it got dark, as if someone just dimmed the lights in your living room, and it got chilly. It's always chillier here around Niagara Falls as that millions of tons of water just pouring out. But it was really just awesome phenomenon as far as the darkness.
Well, I want to shoot.
The totality view.
No, I'm a gunsmo shoot. How about if I exchange them?
So it sounds like it was still an interesting experience, even if maybe the visuals weren't what you expected. But you are, like you said, in Niagara Falls, which is used to really big crowds. How has it been for visitors getting out of the park, though? Because I imagine there are lots of people around you.
So submachine gun ammo is
on the observation deck for the past few hours, but the crowds have definitely dispersed among the different points, and the points behind me, those are Goat Island, Turpin Point. They have left, and the traffic seems to be flowing pretty well. I think what happened was the crowds were anticipated to be larger here, and at the last minute, a lot of people made the audible to go to Vermont and to Maine, where the clearer skies are, or even to Cleveland, we've heard, so they could see that total solar eclipse, and they were following that weather and that cloud coverage.
Michael Schwartz with Scripps News Buffalo in Niagara Falls for us. Thanks so much.
Now, the workplace is more diverse than that, with 5 generations: traditionalists, baby boomers, Generation X, millennials, and Generation Z working side by side. But the newest Gen Z employees have only been in the workforce for less than a decade. Gen Z, we're talking about people born between 1997 and 2012, and though they are often seen as kids, as they get older,
because it thinks I'm on my fish.
Share of our workforce.
That's what.
With about
It's because of that stupid ass,
of Zoomers
empty ass fucking.
In 2023, they're poised to overtake baby boomers this year. The National Association of Colleges
because it is.
say that in 6 years, Gen Z will make up about 30% of the American workforce, which is about 50 million jobs across the country.
As more Gen Zers join the workforce, we'll start to see a shift in the people we collaborate with and the people who become managers and leaders. And one main driver that's impacting their view on work is that many entered the workforce in the middle of a global pandemic, affecting their expectations on remote and hybrid work, schedule flexibility, and work culture. According to Forbes, Gen Z has embraced a non-grind mentality at work, with less of them working to become managers, saying the amount of assigned work
or the rocket launcher.
Many are also avoiding working a typical 9-to-5 job and instead going for jobs that are extremely flexible with non-traditional hours. And Gen Zers are also reporting more burnout, therefore choosing less jobs and seeking jobs where creating trust is a management priority.
Joel West joins us now. She's a Gen Z career whisperer, content creator, and speaker. Thank you for taking the time to join us today from London. We talk about the values that are important to Gen Z workers. Why these values?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, for me, I think there's so many different roots and reasons, right? The first thing really is around transparency. I think that Gen Z as a generation, myself included, we are really motivated by being able to progress, being able to elevate.
The mind has the freight terminal, find your way in.
As well, right? We also want to make sure that we have boundaries, making sure that companies understand that, you know, we are empowered to say no when the workload's too much, making sure that mental health is being prioritized, making sure that we're able to have flexi working. So I think, yeah, we're just motivated by different things that I guess other generations maybe haven't thought of or considered. I think the real key reason for that is because
man.
So what I mean by that is, you know,
well, so I guess my advice to everybody is if you're gonna play the Crysis UnReMastered,
I'd be able to afford
don't
a mortgage, have a good pension, whereas nowadays it's just not the same. Like nothing is certain, there's inflation, there's the cost of living, so the outcomes are different, which means that our motivations are going to be actually different, and that's what we're going to prioritize.
What would you say a Gen Z worker brings to a traditional work environment?
I would say, honestly, you know, we are not yes men. I think we're people who are willing to challenge what's been done before. We think differently. We think
only one guy, I thought it was three.
And I'd also say, like, for most of us, obviously I can't speak for everyone, but pretty much everyone I know, we care about diversity, we care about inclusion, we care about those important causes as well. That's really important to any organization. So I would say definitely those two.
We're working in a 2023, this is a resume builder survey that found 74% of managers and business leaders report Gen Z is more difficult to deal with than other generations, citing this age group tends to feel entitled, lacks motivation and productivity. Why is that?
I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, like the goalpost essentially moved. If you know that, okay, when I come out of uni or after your apprenticeship, you go onto a job, the salaries aren't that great, they're not actually matching the cost of living, and then you're expected to have all these responsibilities on you, and you're working extremely hard, but you can't guarantee that in 10 years' time we'll be able to get back on stage, we'll be able to, you know, go on holidays or whatever those kind of life milestones are. You can't guarantee that because the salaries are just not matching. It is a bit frustrating after a while, so people are now looking to do things like you guys said before, let's say being a YouTuber, where you know you can kind of actually manifest a life for yourself without the stress of being a manager.
Okay, what happened to the guys that...
So I think it's really a mixture of things, but I think it's the society at the moment and the goals that other generations knew if they weren't going to get, you know, record. We are kind of like deadlines that we don't even know if we're ever going to be able to achieve some of those things.
And as Gen Z continues to move forward and fill more roles in the American workforce, and just work in general, how will Gen Z do when they begin to fill those management positions?
I think it's going to be an interesting thing because I know for me and myself that as I grow, like originally I was like, I want to time to career, I'm like really excited about that. It felt very aspirational, whereas now it does kind of feel like burden because unfortunately a lot of people at the top seem a bit miserable, seem like they don't have boundaries and they're working late, stuff like that. So I think that when they eventually do get into those positions that people want, we will prioritize boundaries, you know, making sure that people are happy, putting things like work culture first over just getting tasks done. So I think we're actually making have a better workforce in general.
Joel West, Gen Z specialist content creator, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
No worries, thank you, Chris.
Bianca?
Still ahead on Main and Wall today with the day that it is rebooked. We continue our coverage of the total solar eclipse and take you to Texas to show you what people experience there.
It's everything. It's friends. It's community. It's just feeling where everything is. More than 1 million homeowners have already used reverse mortgage to stay in the comfort and security of their family home for as long as they want. And the best part? There's still monthly payments, and it's tax-free. Call now to find out what you can get, and the many ways you can use your reverse mortgage fund if you're over 60 and on your own. Call now to speak with a licensed reverse mortgage agent and find out if you qualify now. Call 1-800-431-1181. That's 1-800-431-1181. And for most older homeowners, their home's equity is their single biggest asset. Turn an investment you've been sitting on for years into tax-free cash right now, so you can pay off your existing mortgage, pay bills, credit cards, get medical care, even renovate or update the house. Maybe get that something special.
It ain't, huh?
Over 60 and on your home. Get the information you need to qualify and get the tax-free cash you deserve.
I got 2 useless weapons that I'm carrying around.
And it was created just for times like these. So older Americans had a way to cover rising costs and keep their retirement just the way it is. Pay off as much as you like, but you lower it one lump sum when you leave the home. It's that simple. Your home equity using a reverse mortgage to get the cash you need and save the home you want. That's 1-800-431-1181. Getting tax-free cash has never been easier. Don't miss out. Find out how much tax-free cash you may qualify for. Call 1-800-431-1181. That's 1-800-431-1181.
Look at you. You're doing everything you can to get your blood pressure in check. You're exercising, you're eating right, and now you have Super Beats Heart Chews on your side too. Paired with a healthy lifestyle, Super Beats Heart Chews polyphenol compound is 2 times more effective at promoting normal blood pressure, which means more energy, better circulation, and blood pressure support that is easy and convenient. In a leading clinical setting, Super Beats Heart Chews polyphenol compound is shown to be 2 times as effective at promoting normal blood pressure as a healthy lifestyle alone. So double your potential with Super Beats Heart Chews. Just 2 delicious pomegranate berry chews a day support nitric oxide production, healthy blood pressure, blood flow, and heart healthy energy. Plus they're plant-based and gluten-free. What are you waiting for? Become unstoppable. This way, healthy blood pressure with Super Beats Heart Chews. Find out how to get it plus free shipping with your first order at superbeatschews.com.
Left.
Imagine being aboard a Southwest flight, looking out your window and seeing this. Flying from Denver to Houston, had to turn around and make an emergency landing after an engine cover came off during takeoff. The cover hit part of the wing. The plane did land safely. 35 minutes later, Southwest passengers were put on another jet. The FAA is investigating. Today's total solar eclipse is predicted to top revenue brought in from Taylor Swift's entire U.S. tour or even the Super Bowl. We're talking up to $6 billion.
That's right, millions gathered in different parts of the country to witness the eclipse as it made its way across the U.S. This is what the half of the totality looked like in Caravelle, Texas. That's when the moon completely blocked out the sun. The totality came between 2:30 and 3 p.m. Eastern, depending on where you were, and the darkness lasted for about 4 minutes. Approximately 44 million people live within half of the totality, which cut across 13 states, and many more traveled to areas for those events.
And our national correspondent John Lone got to be in the capital totality today in Kerrville, Texas, just outside San Antonio. John, this total darkness. I watched it as you went through it on TV, but what was it like?
Oh, yeah, filled with wonder, delight, and joy, and just experiencing this with the crowd. And I dived back to what you talked to earlier.
We lost him.
No, you didn't.
Then Taylor Swift Crysis for. Chris, I hope you watch out.
No, you didn't.
Swift may be coming for his full force, even if the celestial event made more money than the Eras tour. But here, I mean, amazing. We were with several thousand of our closest friends
You did not lose
in
it.
Texas, a town which normally is 25,000, but grew probably several thousands more. I think people saw the weather reports and the cloud cover and probably made a decision to go elsewhere if they were planning maybe last-minute decisions to get a clear shot of totality. But when we were able to see it at 1:32 Central in the afternoon, it was an amazing sight to see the corona, even if for fleeting moments.
Something's moving. 이런
We're
개새끼들!
here in Louisville, Texas. We take this hill country down because it's in the heart of totality, plunging the city into total darkness for more than 4 minutes.
Enemy!
The best thing I can lighting to is like
Open fire!
Open fire!
This small picturesque town, about 65 miles northwest of San Antonio, offered a destination for summer tourism, and the Eclipse is no exception, with the town hosting an arts festival and partnering up with NASA, hosting a panel of experts like Jamie Favors, a heliophysicist who studies space weather.
This puts us to give us an opportunity to study a little bit of that space weather and make some really important measurements in our upper atmosphere, and understand a little bit more that influence of the sun here.
Normally, about 25,000 people from Cherville come, but the once-in-a-lifetime event expected to bring 2 to 3 times as many people here on Monday.
Such a monumental task today, and they came together for one cause. And this it's not monetary, it's spiritual, nature. It's just a matter of getting together and it's everything to serve on for a lifetime.
Even with clouds in the way Kerrville experienced the longest amount of time in totality, 4 minutes and 25 seconds. We put a special filter on our camera shot to get as much of a glimpse at the eclipse as we could. A rare collective moment of awe, showcasing the wonder of the small planet we call home.
Folks, if you missed it this time around, NASA has plenty of footage of today's events on its website at
Follow the railroad tracks. And only to admit it.
At totality, an eclipse in the United States and North America will be in August of 2044. 20 years from now, I'll see you then. But also, if you're looking for another celestial wave, another eclipse, 2 years from now, if you start out in Iceland and go down to Portugal, Spain, that could be a pretty delightful journey as well.
Yeah, nice trip. Not too bad. All right, Taylor Swift's Bar Eclipse coverage, John Lowe, in Kerrville, Texas. John, thank you.
Tax day for most of the country is 1 week away, and the longer you wait, the less time you have to sort out issues with your tax return if you have any.
Enemy!
Consumer reporter John Avery has advice for last-minute filers so you don't waste your money.
We're counting down now to April 15th, and whether you file by tax day or you request an extension, the key is to file on time so you can avoid penalties and other costly mistakes. It's crunch time for Gina Pinto and her employees at this Liberty Amazon. She's helping last-minute filers like Adam East. We should create a host of problems. Just as important as filing on time, Mark Stever with Jackson Hewitt said, don't lose sight of the need for accuracy. He said if you're still waiting for a W-2 or 1099, don't assume it's coming. Track down any missing forms by reaching out to your employer or other issue. And just because you didn't get it, doesn't mean you can leave it off your tax return. Another common mistake, thinking an extension means more time to pay.
If you're going to owe taxes, you have to have those paid in on time by tax day April 15th, or run the risk of penalties and interest.
And if you're anticipating refunds, there's really no reason to delay. For last-minute help in person, Mark says watch out for fake tax preparers who guarantee a refund, won't tell you the refund amount, or refuse to sign the tax return. Whether you're doing it yourself or visiting an office, or rush and make mistakes, that way you don't waste your money. I'm John Mathis.
John, thank you. You bought fruit or other weighted items from Walmart, you could have money coming your way. Walmart has agreed to pay a $45 billion class action settlement without admitting wrongdoing. This covers time period between October 19, 2018 and January 29th of this year. The deadline to file is June 5th. People without receipts may receive $10 to $25. People who have receipts could get up to $500 back. Different Swift is adding another layer to our repertoire. Find out where you can hear your favorite Swift tunes all day long right up this page.
ADT is at an outbreak. Meet Tablo. Tablo is your record, pause, and replay upgrades. And gives you access to more free channels you can't get with an antenna alone. Tablo connects to any TV exam and your Wi-Fi. So you can watch your main conference anywhere in your home. Your home with zero free fees or contracts. Only Tablo today for just $99.95. Now, let's watch your TabloTV.com.
Maximum armor.
Whoa! And one day all of this will be yours. Don't worry, that's not all I need. I just called and I guarantee acceptance whole life insurance policy for less than $7 a month. It'll help cover my farm expenses. Oh, Mom, we're not going anywhere. I was platinum.
If you between the ages of 45 and 85, you will automatically qualify for up to $25,000 in life insurance coverage. There are no health questions and no medical exams. You can't be turned down good enough. Your acceptance is guaranteed. Policies start at just $6.38 per month, with most benefits paid in as little as 24 hours. And best of all, your rate will never increase, and your coverage will never decrease. That's our rate lock guarantee. Help protect the ones you love. Get a policy.
According to this schematic, navigation should be straightforward from here.
All right.
The thing about life insurance is better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Because once you need it, it's too late.
Now it's the time to call the number on your screen and lock in your rate. Leave your family with financial protection to help cover funeral costs, medical bills, or to use whatever they need. Give yourself the peace of mind knowing you've done all you can to help the ones you love.
Did you finally change it? Thanks, Mom, I did. It sounds like you did too. You know I'm gonna make sure you have everything you need. And then some.
Call the Guaranteed Life Insurance Helpline today. Get your guaranteed acceptance policy and lock in your guaranteed rates. You can't be turned down.
Don't get it. Call 800-279-0684. That's 800-279-0684. 800-279-0684. Call now.
There's an elevator, upstairs to the back.
We searched you online and maybe you can explain it. Can't believe that college is still coming in. That's so false.
Frustrated with your online search results? Call Reputation Center today to join tens of thousands of online reputation. Get your free reputation. What was that? And Reputation Advantage. Call 1-877-866-8555.
Hostile.
This is the radio era. Superstar's February channel launched on Sirius XM over the weekend. The channel will play music spanning her 17-year career, and it's on channel 13 in honor of Swift's favorite number. The channel will run around the clock across North America through May 6th.
Johnny Ben, we have an entire channel of only your music. Now, another superstar is adding to her legacy. Beyonce's latest album, Act 2, Cowboy Carter, is now number 1 on top of the country album chart. She is the first Black woman to do so. Also top the Billboard 200 albums charts. It's her 8th time reaching that in February. A single from the album, Texas Hold'em, also grabbed the top spot on Billboard's Hot Country chart. And somebody finally got lucky. A single ticket sold in Oregon matched all of Saturday's Powerball numbers. The $1.3 billion jackpot was up for grabs. It's the 8th largest in history. The drawing is tonight with an estimated jackpot of $20 million, which after more than $1 billion doesn't really sound like that much money.
I know, it's not really exciting to talk about winning $20 million after the billions up for grabs. We both missed it, unfortunately.
I know. Next time it goes up to $1 billion, man. Alright, so we've got on Strips News Live. The world champion's been crowned, and now we are just hours away from finding out who the men's champ will be.
And so I had to count down to the men's championship game as Purdue faces off again to Newcomb. News continues right here on the Strips News.
not good.
If you get to 85, I have an important message about security. Write down the number when you straight, so you can call when I finish. The lock I want to talk to you about isn't the one on your door. This is a lock for your life insurance. A rate lock that guarantees that once you're insured, your rate can never go up at any time for any reason. But be careful.
That is not
Many
good.
policies you see do not have one. But you can get a lifetime rate lock from Colonial Penn. Call this number to learn more. This plan was designed with a rate lock for people on a fixed income who want life insurance that fits their budget. And it's simple to get. Coverage options start at $9.95 a month. Less than 35 cents a day. Act now. Your rate will be locked in for life. It will never increase. Guaranteed. This is lifelong coverage that can never be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Guaranteed. And your word guaranteed. There's no help question. You cannot be turned down because of your health. Call for your information kit and read about this rate lock for yourself. You'll also get a free beneficiary list. All for free, with no obligation. Don't miss out. Call for information, then decide. Read about the 30-day 100% money-back guarantee. Don't wait. Call this number now. Call now. You'll also get this free beneficiary call. Use this valuable guide to record important information and your evaluations. And it's yours free just for calling. So call this number 440-9900 for your free information. That's 1-800-440-9900. There's no risk or obligation. That number again is 1-800-440-9900. That's 1-800-440-9900. So call.
You get those.
Introducing Spaces Dolphins Edward created. Elo Color 3 is a virtual site inside a color. Simply create GPS fences right in the app, wherever you go. Teach your dog to stay away from danger and come back to safety. When they are safe everywhere, you can go anywhere. Always protected by Elo. It's the safest GPS dog fence ever created. Now just $5.99.
Next on Scripps News Live, lawmakers are heading back to work on Capitol Hill. Looks like what's on the agenda for Congress this week, including an impeachment move against the Homeland Security Secretary. Plus,
Because even if they get by, we still have this crushing debt.
President Biden is rolling out his plan to try to bring relief to millions of Americans through the flood debt. The details from the strategy and the pushback it may face. And what state is facing a new crisis? Nearly 2 years after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. We'll tell you why Idaho is struggling to attract physicians and an urgent warning to doctors in the state. And this. Fire! Were you watching? I was. South Carolina caps its undefeated season with a third national title. We'll explain why the Gamecocks say they're already focused on the future. Scripps News Live starts right now. Christian Bryant in D.C. Chris Wynn is off. All eyes are on Washington, D.C. this week. Lawmakers have a list of outstanding issues to address, including a foreign aid package, the impeachment case against Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and the threat House Speaker Mike Johnson is facing from some members of his own party working to remove him from this speakership. Congressional correspondent Daniel Reed is on Capitol Hill, ready to track it all. Nate, let's break it down. Let's start with the Senate. It's back today. What does the next week look like for senators?
Well, that really depends on what Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer decides to do about this impending impeachment trial into Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Now, the Senate Majority Leader has made clear he does not agree with these charges levied by the House of Representatives. It took an extremely slim Republican majority in several tries to pass this impeachment into the Homeland Security Secretary, the first sitting member of the President's cabinet ever impeached in U.S. history. That being said, it's not clear the Senate is really going to act on this. There's a very real chance that Senate Democrats could potentially move to dismiss this trial, basically meaning it could be over before it ever begins. Here's what the Senate Majority Leader said about this impending trial yesterday in New York.
Well, as I've said, I think the charges are absurd. There's no evidence, zero evidence, that he's committed an impeachable offense.
And that is largely an opinion that's shared by a number of Senate Democrats. The major question is, how do they get rid of this trial? There's a very good chance that they just move to dismiss it, and with a simple majority vote could end the trial once and for all. Republicans say they want to hold this trial. They want to actually put Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas on trial. They believe that he has intentionally not done his job as the Homeland Security Secretary, and the American people have lost trust in him.
Nate, that's one chamber. Let's move on to the other. The House returns tomorrow. How would you characterize House Speaker Mike Johnson's relationship with House Republicans?
On thin ice, potentially getting eclipsed by the fact that Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, before Congress ever left on recess, put forward a file of this motion to remove Speaker Mike Johnson as Speaker of the House. That's the exact same way that Speaker Kevin McCarthy was removed. The question is, will someone bring that motion up for a vote? That we still do not know. There's a very real possibility that Speaker Mike Johnson could be on thin ice with the House Republican Conference. One of the ways that he could potentially save his job, he's made clear that in this next 2 weeks he wants to pass a bill that sends additional aid to Ukraine. There's a very real chance that if he does that, Democrats could come to his defense and prevent him from being removed as Speaker. Again, this is all early here. He could really be at risk of losing his job this week. It all depends on whether a single Republican or member of Congress decides to bring up that motion to try and remove him as Speaker. Remember, with that extremely slim Republican majority, he will likely need Democratic support to remain Speaker, although it's too soon to say until that motion is actually brought up for a vote. We don't know when that could possibly happen.
Nate, I appreciate you breaking this down, but I don't want to overlook eclipsed by the fact. I have a pretty good sense of what things were like on Capitol Hill. Before we let you go, you had some fun checking out the eclipse today. Who's out there? What did you see?
It was pretty magical. Senator Joe Manchin and the Democratic whip, Senator Dick Durbin, who you see on your screen right now, were out there to watch the eclipse. A number of members of Senate staff, Democrats, Republicans, gathered on the steps of the Senate. You can see that's video that I took. You can kind of see that eclipse right there. We didn't get the full eclipse here in Washington, but luckily I did have these glasses. I was able to wear them. I can't see anything right now despite the brightness of these TV lights. Wore these out there and you can get a really good sense of what that eclipse looked like on Capitol Hill. It was really fun, and I mean, I was amazed how many people had brought glasses. Some Senate offices had extras to hand out. I actually came unprepared this morning, but got quite lucky when a staffer in the Senate office was able to get me a pair.
And lucky for you, some of us had to bum glasses off other people here in the office. A few of us were sharing them before we went outside. So next time, maybe I'll drop by your office and see what I can get. Nathaniel Reed, live on Capitol Hill.
I'll see you in 2045. Come on down.
Perfect, yeah, that sounds good. It's a date. Well, folks, this afternoon, President Biden was in Madison, Wisconsin to announce a new plan for student debt relief. The White House says if it's implemented, it means debt relief for more than 30 million Americans when combined with other actions from the administration. President Biden said the biggest benefit would be for borrowers who now owe more than they originally borrowed because of unpaid interest. The plan will cancel up to $20,000 of debt for these It's never going to White change, House I'll tell you that. correspondent Haley Bull joins me now in the studio. Haley, who else would benefit from this potential plan?
President Biden said that this would be, quote, life-changing for borrowers. And there are several tenets this would impact. First, those with what the White House calls runaway interest, as we described, who owe more than they originally borrowed. It would impact borrowers eligible, who are already eligible under forgiveness plans like the SAVE plan, public service loan forgiveness plans. I would also cancel debt for people who started their repayment at least 20 years ago, borrowers in low-value programs, and those experiencing hardship, like medical debt, for instance. I know the White House has described this as helping working and middle-class families and specifically tackling disproportionate debt burden on Black and Latino borrowers. This is really part of the president's larger effort to cut down some of the everyday costs that Americans are facing. Now, Biden touted this new proposal and met with borrowers in the swing state of Wisconsin today as Secretary Cardona and Vice President Harris made stops in Pennsylvania and New York. Biden making the case that student debt is also tied to the local economy. Listen.
Too many people feel the strain and stress, wondering if they're can get married, have their first child, start a family. because even if they get by, they still have this crushing debt. That's not it's not just a drag on them. It's a drag on our local economies. It's a drag on, it really is.
Another
And
dead
the
end.
location, of course, a key battleground state for Biden on the 2024 campaign trail, and the message, one that could potentially resonate with young voters. The rule is expected to go out for public comment first, but officials are beginning to start implementing pieces, particularly that interest cancellation by potentially.
Right. We know the Supreme Court struck down the first ban for President Biden. What sort of legal challenges could they face this go around?
Well, it remains to be seen what specific legal challenges they could face, but officials say they looked at that Supreme Court case quite carefully, and they are confident. They say that they are within the law. They believe this proposal is different because of one, the authority pursuing it under the Higher Education Act, and two, really the specificity in addressing both the situations as well as the populations. And we pressed the administration on this. Listen.
We know that there are some Republicans in Congress and some Republican state attorneys general who have opposed the administration's efforts to try to prevent millions of middle-class Americans from receiving student debt relief.
And already some Republicans were criticizing this plan. Ranking member Senator Bill Cassidy on the Health Committee calling it a thought-to-buy vote. On the House side, Education and Workforce Committee Chairwoman Virginia Fox saying the plan forces taxpayers to pay. So certainly some political division amidst this plan as well. The White House has stressed that they are.
Why wasn't I close to the end?
Interested to see how this will play out.
Why did I reach the end?
White House correspondent Haley Bull. Haley, many thanks. We appreciate you. Right now, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is in China calling for changes to Chinese policies she says threaten American jobs. She says the Chinese government provides too much support to manufacturers of EV batteries, microchips, and solar panels in China. And China exports too many products to international markets, which hurt growth in the U.S.
I've tried in our conversations to make clear that this is a reason for cautions on the part of American firms about doing business here. I think on each side we need to be as transparent as we can about our national security concerns and how the actions we take will lead to resolving those concerns.
Let's go that way.
The Biden administration is looking to boost its EV production and more in the U.S. Yellen says U.S. economic officials will host their Chinese counterparts next week for financial working group meetings.
Maybe it went the wrong way.
The Biden administration has taken steps to ensure the world's most advanced microchips will be made in the U.S. for the first time. Will allocate up to $6.6 billion so Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company can expand 2 Arizona facilities and build a new production hub. The money is tied to the CHIPS Act from 2022, which was established to revive U.S. semiconductor manufacturing. Silicon on Scripture right outside, catch the eclipse today. Did you do it? Wait for the proper shape? Well, reaction from people around the country. And how's your handwriting? Is it awful? Does it need improvement? Well, we're going to stick around for some tips from the grand champions of the National Handwriting Contest. We'll be right back.
Huh?
Vinyl windows seem to be a typical choice here in the local area. Some companies even advertise.
I'm out of dogs.
And Romer here, before you invest in vinyl windows, listen to what Michael Smith of Renewable Energy has to say.
Without temperature swings, vinyl tends to warp, which causes condensation between the panes and drafts. And most vinyl windows just look very low end to begin with. Our customers don't want that.
And what are Renewable by Anderson's windows made of?
Our windows are made out of a thermopolymer composite material called Fibrex. It's beautiful like wood, but it doesn't require the maintenance of wood. We engineered it to be 2 times stronger than vinyl. So you're getting a window that will really last.
Now this is innovation. You have a feature on your windows that allows for a better view.
Our twisting screens are made out of an ultra-fine stainless steel mesh, which is virtually invisible. You get less dirt buildup, more fresh air circulation, and a better view out of your window.
Now, if we're talking about comfort, how much does the glass matter?
The glass in the window makes a huge difference. Our high-performance, low-EV smart sunglass is infused with silver oxide. It's engineered to help keep the cold air outside in the winter and keep the
You only carry one rocket launcher.
It also blocks 95% of the harmful UV rays that fade your furniture and your hardwood floors.
Oh, that's impressive, Michael. Thank you. And right now, renewal by...
Let's get reload. I can shoot him now.
Before April 30th, buy one window, patio door, or entry door, and get the next one 40% off. That's 40% off, with a minimum of 4 units. Plus, extra $30 on every window and door you buy, with no money down, no monthly payments, and no interest for 1 year. This offer ends April 30th. For a free appointment with Renewal by Anderson, call 1-800-662-0202. That's 1-800-662-0202. If you're smart enough to know a good wireless deal when you see one, listen up. And if you're not, we'll give you a minute.
We lost to him.
Smart enough now? Good. At Consumer Cellular, we're all about transparency. We deliver premium wireless coverage for up to half of what the largest carriers charge. How do we do it? I'll show you. The truth is, we don't actually own these towers. We just pay to use them. And while someone else maintains that great nationwide 5G network, we've got more time to focus on something else. You. Boom! Say hello to one of our 100% US-based customer service call centers. If you need help or want to make the easy switch, you can call and talk to a real person in Arizona, like Danae here.
Yeah, I'm definitely a real person, not a robot.
Prove it. Amazing coverage and award-winning service, all with no contract. Just give us a call and...
Incoming!
And for a limited time, your customers will get federal approval. 888-562-3753.
Yes, sir.
Folks, they call it the Super Bowl of Penmanship Tournaments. The 33rd annual Zaner Blauser National Handwriting Contest was held earlier this month, awarding some students for their near perfect letters. Are you jealous? I am. These 2024 grand champions included 9 students from 6 states. The competition centers around the old practice of cursive writing, handwriting that more states are mandating. This year, California became the 22nd state to require it for students, up from just 12 states in 2016. This comes despite a spike in technology. More recent studies show handwriting can benefit memory, cognitive development, reading comprehension, and fine motor skills. Today, 2 of those grand national champions are with us, and we are delighted to have kindergartner Prisha Darji and 2nd grader Myra Nupani from DAV Montessori in elementary school in Houston, along with their teachers Gita Kadakia and Manu Bangia. Prisha, I would like to start with you. First of all, my name is Christian, and I live in Washington, D.C. I hear you're in kindergarten and already a national handwriting champion. Who taught you to write so well?
My dad, my mom, and my teacher in my school.
Engaged.
So we know who to give credit to. Dad, mom, and your teacher. Myra, how about you? Who taught you to write so well?
My parents and my teachers.
Parents and teachers. The importance of parents and teachers, folks. Myra, I'd like to stay with you for a moment. How did you feel to know you won the contest?
I felt really proud of myself.
And we're proud of you too. You should feel proud of yourself. Prisha, how did you feel to win the handwriting contest?
Maximum armor.
Excited and overjoyed.
Excited. I'm excited that you're excited. Prisha, can I ask a question? What is it that you like to write?
Engaged.
I like to write the sentences.
Sentences, it sounded like. Myra, what are some of the things that you like to write? Is it sentences, stories? What do you like to write about?
I write stories at my house.
What kind of stories do you write?
I just write like any story, and I just make up some topics.
There he is.
Just write any story and you make up some topics. What is it that you love about writing? Let's start with Prisha, and then we'll go to Myra. Prisha, what is it you love about writing?
in red.
Myra, what is it that you love about writing?
I love about handwriting because it improves your handwriting each and every time you do it.
It sure does. Practice makes perfect. Before we let both of you go, I understand that there may be some adults who don't have very good handwriting. Do you have anything to say to the adults who don't have very good handwriting, how they can improve their handwriting? Let's start with you, Prisha. How can adults improve their handwriting?
Incoming!
Okay. Myra, how about you? What kind of advice do you have for adults with really bad handwriting?
I would tell them each and every day you should practice and keep writing.
Practice and keep writing to all those adults, especially in medical professions with really bad handwriting. I want to thank Prisha Darji and Myra Lupane and their teachers Gita Kadakia and Madhu Bangya. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope you come back sometime. Congratulations. You are welcome. Thanks so much, folks. Over the past 5 years, an Ohio school district has seen suspensions decrease by 50%, and it's all thanks to a more positive approach to discipline. It's called positive behavior intervention and supports. At the heart of it is a system called SOAR points. Students can earn these by demonstrating safety, ownership, attitude, and respect. Points can go toward a reward for the school or for individual students. Younger students get prizes and older students get lunch with the principal. One teacher says it's making a huge impact.
Kids thrive on positive feedback and praise. They love being acknowledged for doing the right thing.
Was it? I thought there was more than that.
The school also does individualized plans for students who need help staying on track, and consequences like no recess, suspension, or expulsion are still available if needed. Still ahead on Scripps News Live, Israel's Prime Minister says there's a date for a plan for the invasion of Rafah. We'll tell you what he said now 6 months after Hamas' initial attack on Israel. We'll be right back.
Start paying attention to the rates.
We have to.
The decision is made in this house.
Not on the way. We take you to the legal process. Political things have been done. We want to add some context around it tonight. The race tonight at 6-5 Central. Only on Scripps News.
Oh, you gotta sell machine guns?
You don't have to handle your health alone. At Farmers.com,
What can I exchange it with the gods? A lot of gods.
leave your fear to her.
No. 12 grenades. I got 12 frag grenades, 10 smoke grenades, 5, I don't know what those are, 10 EMPs.
Instead of waiting around for me to get sick, they focus on keeping me healthy and feeling good. Got it. The sugar, right? And the best part, everyone at Oak Street Health just experienced with people my age.
At Oak Street Health, we specialize in caring for older adults like you, with a focus on keeping you healthy. So don't wait. Call today. Zion, we're ready for you.
Dear people get to know me through fashion. I'm listening. This guy takes all the notes, so my doctor is all eyes on me, and I never rush out.
Ready to go?
We get to know you better with longer appointment times, including same day and next day appointments.
Whether it's doctors, nurses, social workers, mental health support, even someone to help me understand my
I
Medicare.
need more guards,
They all work together.
That's a fucking awesome fucking gun.
Not to mention the 24/7 patients.
Psycho, we found Prophet.
Great news. What's his condition?
Physically sound, but we've been getting AARs from some of our officers in the field reporting everything from nausea to psychotropic effects. Just watch him, okay?
You can gather all your medical records and health history. So switching to that, doctors, easy. And you can keep living your life your way.
At Oak Street Health, we specialize in caring for older adults like you. Call 800-967-2157 to schedule a visit and see why we are the only primary care provider to carry the AARP name. Oak Street Health.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Energy critical. Maximum armor.
Big played one.
Welcome back, folks. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says there's a set date to invade the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The news comes a day after Israeli officials said troops were withdrawing from another southern city, Han Yunis. The U.S. and other nations have urged Netanyahu to rethink expanding an offensive into Rafah. More than 1 million Palestinians.
Psycho, we've got a lock on the container. The Koreans have it in the terminal and unloading it onto one of the mine's automated freight trains. Our best guess is that they plan to take it to the airport on the far side of the Ang River and evacuate to Pyongyang. You must get on that train.
Targeting the city
Get on the train to Pyongyang
to achieve its goal of eradicating Hamas.
Take the last train to Pyongyang, and I'll meet you at the station. You can be there by 4:30.
And achieving a
I can wait your reservation.
This victory requires entry into Rafah
and the
elimination of the terrorist battalions.
No.
Today at The Hague, Nicaragua called on the United Nations top court to stop Germany from sending military aid to Israel. Officials argue Germany's support allows acts of genocide and breaches of international humanitarian law in Gaza. Germany is the second largest arms supplier to Israel, following only the U.S. The case comes months after South Africa accused Israel of committing acts of genocide in Gaza, a charge Israel strongly denied. Nicaragua's ambassador to the Netherlands said Germany is failing to honor its own obligation to prevent genocide.
When a situation of this nature occurs or it's in danger of occurring, the obligations of all states are clear. Not only states must not affect the situation by aiding or assisting the perpetrator, but they must use their best efforts to ensure respect for these fundamental norms and prevent their breach.
Maximum armor.
Germany has rejected Nicaragua's case. The court will likely take weeks to deliver a preliminary decision, and the case could potentially drag on for years. The State Department says more than 300 aid trucks entered Gaza yesterday, making it the highest number of trucks in any single day since the conflict began. But leaders from the World Food Program said despite having enough food for 1.1 million people, there aren't enough open crossings for the food inside Gaza. Last week, the Israeli government said it planned to temporarily open the Erez crossing in northern Gaza and another port for humanitarian aid. Salvage crews have begun removing containers from the cargo ship that ran the Q Bridge in Baltimore and caused it to collapse. If weather cooperates, the work will take place throughout the week. Crews will successfully move parts of the bridge across the ship's bow. Moving the ship away is seen as a big step in reopening the shipping lane. U.S. lawmakers introduced a plan to offer all Americans a right to online privacy. Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell and Republican Congresswoman Kathy Rogers want to create a national law. Their idea, the American Privacy Rights Act, regulates how companies gather, share, and use Americans' online data. It also requires a person's permission before sensitive data is transferred to third parties and allows people to opt out of targeted ads. Folks, I'm Christian Bryant. Thank you so much for joining us in Scripps News Live. Audience leaving us right now, your local programming is up next. And check us out on ScripsNews.com. You're staying with us There's more news headed your way on Scripps News Live.
Where's Gawk?
If you missed your shot earlier, get ready to wait 20 years or just stick around. We'll have all the fun from today's total solar eclipse. And former President Trump made his views on abortion a little more clear today. His statement on what's expected to be a major election issue. We'll have that for you in just over 2 minutes.
Maximum armor. Fire! Find it! Engaged. Maximum armor. Look for him!
I'm Jonathan Lawson. If you're 50 to 85, I have an important message about security. Write down the number on your screen so you can call when I finish. The lock I want to talk to you about isn't the one on your door. This is a lock for your life.
You don't want to make close.
A rate lock that guarantees that once you're insured, your rate can never go up at any time for any reason. But be careful.
Where is he
Many
going?
policies you see do not have one.
Take
But
notes.
you can get a lifetime rate lock from Colonial Penn. Call this number to learn more. This plan was designed with a rate lock for people on fixed income who want life insurance that fits their budget and is simple to get. Coverage options start at $9.95 a month, less than 35 cents a day. Act now. Your rate will be locked in for life. It will never increase. Guaranteed. This is lifelong coverage that can never be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Guaranteed. And your acceptance is guaranteed. With no health questions. You cannot be turned down because of your health.
Take him down!
Call
Take
for
the
your
hooks!
information kit and read about this rate lock for yourself. You'll also get a free beneficiary plan. Both are free with no obligation.
Relate!
Don't miss out. Call for information, then decide. Read about the 30-day 100% money back guarantee. Don't wait. Call this number now.
Call now and you'll also get this free beneficiary planner. Use this valuable guide to record important information and your final wishes. And it's yours free just for calling. So don't wait. Call 1-800-440-9900 for your free information. That's 1-800-440-9900. There's no risk or
Did we get them
obligation.
all?
That number again is 1-800-440-9900.
Oh, it's not.
1-800-440-9900. So call now.
We're excited to do business with you, but before we sign, I gotta ask. We searched you online, and maybe you can explain this?
I can't believe that garbage is still coming in. That's so false. Frustrated with taking online search results? Call Reputation Defender today, enjoying tens of thousands to improve their online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 1-877-866-8555.
Maximum armor.
Oh. Where did you come from?
Engaged.
Come over there.
Energy critical. Maximum armor.
Thanks for joining us on Scripps News Live. I'm Christian Bryan. Chris Wynn is off. Just in, former President Trump's hush money criminal trial is still expected to start next week after a New York appeals judge denied his request to delay the trial. Trump's lawyers argued earlier today at an emergency hearing that trial should be postponed while they seek a change of venue to move the trial out of Manhattan. His attorney said the former president faced, quote, real potential prejudice as a Republican defendant in a heavily Democratic area. On social media, Trump suggested the trial should be moved to Staten Island, the only New York borough who won the last two elections. Jury selection is expected to start next Monday. Former President Trump says abortion laws should be left up to the states. He shared his position in a video posted online this morning.
Now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both. And whatever they decide must be the law of the land. In this case, the law of the state.
Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be.
The former president previously floated the idea of supporting a 15-week nationwide ban on abortion, but declined to endorse a national ban in the video. He did show support for IVF treatments while taking credit for the Supreme Court's decision to end Roe v. Wade. In response, President Biden's campaign said Trump is, quote, endorsing every single abortion ban in the states, including bans with no exceptions. In Idaho, there's concern over maternal health as obstetricians leave the state. Dozens stopped practicing in the first 15 months after the state's abortion ban went into effect in 2022. Idaho bans all abortions except for in case of rape, incest, and to prevent the death of a pregnant woman. And physicians can face up to 5 years in prison as a result. Kelsey Mosley Morris joins us now. She's a reproductive rights reporter at State's Newsroom. Kelsey, good to have you. I was just reading an account from a doctor who was treating a pregnant person who was having complications. And the doctor said that although the care did change, the thought process around what to do if things took a turn for the worse has changed. So give me a sense of how this abortion law is changing the healthcare landscape in the state.
Well, it's changing the calculus, like you said, for those doctors and how they have to treat a patient. The one doctor who spoke at that event, I think you're referring to, this is, they have to consider how long they're going to wait for a patient to be bleeding, or, the calculus of how, who's going to question what their actions were has had to change because they are risking jail time, they are risking the loss of their licenses if they act in some way that somebody decides to prosecute. So it really is probably leading to delays of care and different approaches that might not otherwise have come up before these bans took
There are more of them, a lot more of them.
Mm-hmm. What you're saying kind of aligns with this doctor's anecdote, trying to find a line of where when a situation becomes life-threatening. Doctors have said that this law has had a chilling effect when it comes to recruitment and retention. How exactly can we quantify that beyond anecdotes from health professionals?
There was a report that came out not too long ago, a month or so, that we had lost about 22% of our practicing.
Let's cut it off here.
That's in clinics and hospitals, I believe.
And we'll continue it at a later date.
Since that took effect. One up in North Idaho that was pretty soon, I think March 2022. And
we shall continue it at a later date.
From Boise, which is the capital, and one in Caldwell just on April 1st, a week ago. So these are not all rural clinics that are servicing smaller areas.
That's it.
But they are the ones that have actually taken action.
I think that's enough for today.
Inability of staff to fill their rosters.
The eclipse was a disappointment, and Donald Trump didn't go down as far as I thought he would go down. He went down to like 36 something, 36.49 or something like that. And I think I'm like a little bit over halfway through the game.
All of them turned it down.
So
one of the considerations
we'll stop it now.
Brought up pretty frequently was the political atmosphere.